Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. What we have today is something special. So this is Galaxy, made by the Australian lock company, the same people who made Bilock. So what I thought I'd do is I'd pull it apart. This was taken off a job, and luckily enough the screws were drilled out, so that allows us to pull it apart and see what Galaxy is all about. Now, a lot of locksmiths, they've already gone over and they've looked at what the specs are on it and the exploded diagrams, but sometimes it's a bit more fun just to pull it apart. So I've zoomed right in so we can have a good look. Now, first thing I'm noticing is some sort of indentation at the top here, which might be a sidebar of some description. You've got your center core there. It looks like a solid housing. Looks like they've done the alloy thing where the actual main part of the lock is through the center, and then it's just a housing for the rest of it. I can see some indentations around the side there, if you can see them. So the truth is, yeah, I've seen an exploded diagram, but I'm not 100% familiar on how it works. This is a product which is probably more unique to Australia, so what I thought I'd do is I'd pull it apart with you and we will go through and see what we can see. So I'm going to take the circlip off the back. This is your standard 201 or rim cylinder circlip, nothing special there. So that's a really crappy screwdriver. Small flat blade. Is this one? Nope. Is this one? Nope. Alright, flat blade screwdriver. Where are you? Where are you? Alright. We'll just have to work with what we got. Set pliers. Can we push it a little bit more? Push it this way. That's not working either. We're being delayed by a flat blade screwdriver which is hiding. Alright. We're going to have to work with what we got. Push it about there. There we go, got him. Okay, big fat screwdriver. Get off, get off. Alright, so there we have it. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dimples, like sidebar lunks or whatever they are around the outside. I'm going to go with my gut feeling and push forward. Nope. I know we definitely can't push it through this way, so we should be able to push it out this direction. Nope. Okay, so we need to give it a bit of persuasion. Craft right. And no, it is refusing to budge. Okay, looking at the side, is there anything else holding this in? Is there? I hope this is not one of those cylinders that you actually have to use a key to dismantle. Can this come off the back? No. Can we push it forward? No. Alright, a bit more persuasion. Okay, let's try 2. Okay, and we are getting nothing. It's not wanting to come out. Okay, so the housing has a few more little tricks than I thought. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause and I'm going to run the grinder straight up the side of it. And that, I might even run it up both sides. That will allow us to get it out of the housing. Okay, won't be long. Okay, so I've opted for the less brutal attack and I've just gone for the old hacksaw. And the cylinder was very happy to meet my hacksaw being just made of brass. So I'm just going to split it now. Come on. Bigger screwdriver. That won't even fit in there. Alright, come on, split. Alright, bit of persuasion. Is that splitting it? Just getting close. Looks like we didn't quite cut all the way through. I didn't want to damage it too much. If not, we won't be able to see won't be able to see all the good bits. Aha! Something just happened. We just lost the center. The center absolutely just fell out. I don't see how that could have happened unless it broke of some description. Because if that pulls out, the lock would fall apart. And I haven't attacked the center yet. So I'm surprised that fell out. And obviously something holding it in on the sides. There is more to this equation. We need to know more. Alright, more hitting. Okay, we've got a bit of splitting action happening. That's nice. I don't think I'll ever get my screwdriver back. See if we can just pop it open with this here without stabbing myself. cracking that brass. Come on. Nope. Okay, so we're good on one side, we're not good on the other side. A bit more of this. Love taps. Okay, there we go, we got it. Alright, okay, so I'm getting a few little parts here, and I'm going to try and keep them all together. Okay, so that's the housing there, and we have what looks to be like a part that fits in there. Okay, I'm not sure if that pin was from it or from something else. I think it was from this. And that pin, well, obviously I think it goes in there. The point going down. Alright, so now we get to work out how, yep, it does. So that little pin has a little side leg on the front there, you can see, so it does go in there. So, why did the center come out? That was very interesting. Looking at the front section of it here, if you can see down there, I'll put the torch down there. Torch. Okay, I'll put it there, try and make it as nice as I can for you. Come on. That light's just not working, is it? No. Can't really identify too much. Alright, so center core actually dislodged, and I'm surprised at that, because if that dislodges, could this system be flawed because of it? In the top here we're seeing some sidebar lock-ins, so obviously that's a lock-in there, and that will need to be it's a lock-in there, but it's spring-loaded, so you could turn that. Okay. Can we alright, let's see what else we can do to this thing. See if it can tell us its secrets. There's a ball bearing at the back, spring-loaded. There's a triangle spring-loaded there, and we have one pin there. We have multiple grooves on this thing. One there, and this groove is actually into the housing as well on this one right along here. Doesn't look super strong, but it was strong enough that I couldn't pull it apart. Okay, is that going to let us slide it out now? Probably not. Probably not. Does this move? No. I was going to send this lock to Lockpicking Lawyer, but I offered to send him a Ross 700 for picking, but he didn't really respond, so I thought with locks like this that are super unpickable, well, they might be pickable, but you know, super hard, I don't know if he'd want to give it a go. But if he does, maybe somebody can suggest it to him. This one. Still yet to work out how to pull it apart. We have two sections that, well, all those sections move there. We can't seem to get them out of the front for some reason because of this locking ring here. Is that moving now? Come on. Ah, yes, that's moving. That could be the secret to actually... Okay. So that goes round, but that's still gonna retain it. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to go break away another bit of this brass, and then after we break that apart, we might know more. Okay, we are back. Just make sure it's in focus. Focus. Alright, so what I've done is I have cut it again along the back, and now I'm going to pop in my screwdriver and just spread that. There we go, nicely cut. And da-da! There we have it. Now we can remove it from its outer housing. Well, we should be able to. Ah, look at that. I should have cut it a bit better. Okay, so there's its outer housing, and you can see those clear indentations all the way around, those 6 that we spoke about. They're actually in the plug, sorry, in the housing. That's a valley there, that's a valley there, that's a valley there. We have some sort of retainer at the front, some sort of movement area, because I can see the wear of the brass there. Okay, a lot of work went into this housing. Alright, so looking around it now, front section moves. So it looks a bit like a tubular lock, to be honest. Okay, so we've got 6 things around the sides. And how do they work? Are they pushed? So they're actually spring-loaded. These things are spring-loaded here. So how are these pushed? Okay, so they're pushed down like so. Still looking like a tubular cam lock to me. Alright, I can go there, make sure you can see it. Can't see any pins coming through. I can see these posts. They are spring loaded. Still looking like a tubular cam lock. Okay, so if these are pushed in, these move to a particular height. Okay, let's go back to our housing. So this was the front. So if they're pushed in, they're going to be in these grooves here, and I can see some wear marks going around these grooves here, and I can see it at different sizes. So obviously there's a few of them that are marked, that are marking, but I can't still see if we've got that pushed in, would it turn or would it not turn? So I still can't see the shear line of what actually makes it locking. And the center post here is very interesting. We've got, move this back so we can see a bit better. We've got dimples all the way around that. Unique, very small dimples. A keyway cutaway section here, a spring at the back. As to how it released from its, when we were hitting it, that was quite interesting. The only thing I can think of is this side one here should be the one to retain it. And perhaps I was just hitting it too hard. So that goes through there. Okay, so it looks like a two-part system. This key has to rotate to a particular position, one of these positions here. Then this little triangle here will get pushed in, locking the two. Okay, now that's true, and then that would then allow it to rotate, I think. And I could be completely wrong, so if anyone wants to leave it down in the comments, go for it. It's my first time pulling this apart with a hacksaw. But what's interesting is all these little dots here. Okay, because I'm not sure where they're corresponding with the key, and there's no other position for. Okay, hang on. These ones here, they've got to have dimples on the inside. We've got to pull one out to find out, do they have dimples on the inside? And my guess is they do. They do. And how do they come out? They come out of the front. Can I just pull one out? They must have dimples on the inside, okay, because when they're being pushed in, they must align with this hole here. If not, if they've got dimples on the inside, it's super hard to see. You're going to come out? There's got to be a way to get you out. Alright, you want to come out that way? Fine. What I'll do is I'll pull your spring out and I'll take you out by the back way. Okay. Okay, it's out. These must be your pins. Aha. And it gets even better. I wish I could zoom in even more. So basically you've got your triangle section on the outside which rides into these little lunks here, and as it rotates it pushes, which pushes this little pin in here. Now this little pin in here corresponds with all the little notches which are on this center shaft here. I'm not sure if you can focus that to see that. See all those little center, should have used a better lens, I think. So basically they push into here. So depending on your key, now let's just grab a pen and paper. So it's a bit like a tubular lock. Let's just draw it up. Okay, so a tubular lock you have like that, has a shaft, and then you have different heights around the side, and they work on pins, pushing down pins along a shear line. So there's the one, and then your key is the corresponding difference. So when you push this down, they all marry up to this shear line. This one, from what I can tell, is different, as where it's got these rods that come along the side here, which have this triangle shape on the side with a spring-loaded pin here. So as you try and put rotating pressure on it, it's going to want to push this in. And on this center shaft here, I can see a whole heap of funny little holes like this all the way around it. So as you rotate this one, and pressure is applied here, these little pins will sink into these little dots. Once they're all true and connecting, this outer housing here will rotate, very similar to alloy. Once the internal mechanism's all lined up, the outer cylinder will rotate. So that's what I'm getting from it here. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. but that's what I'm getting from it. So to code a lock like this center section here would have to be cut accordingly. So they would be like your pins. They would be like these things here, your pins, right? These dimples here. These rods here would be universal, meaning that you don't actually have to change them. You can use a preloaded cylinder, just like top pins. They're all loaded in, and away you go. The amount of machining that's gone into this particular product is huge. The amount of small parts is huge. I can see jagged edges on the side here, and I could only think that might be something to do with anti-pick or something along those lines. If anyone knows, leave it down in the comments. This ball at the back too, yeah, not 100% sure on what that does. It could just be recentering it so you can find the 12 o'clock home position. And as far as how it was retained in there, that's a bit of a mystery to me as well. I can't assume that it was just retained by that one dot at the front. And looking at this section here, that won't go past that. This looks to be some stainless, so it's got some sort of strength to it. You're looking probably about 3 mil of stainless there. So, you know, is there an easy defeat around this? Who knows? Somebody might come up with a tool to push this down, apply pressure, and then go through them. I mean, I do think it's pickable, but it's not going to be easy. Can you find it? I mean, can you find the lock-in positions? I don't know. But to me, it looks pickable, similar to a tubular gem lock, but I've never tried picking it. We'll leave that up to some of the other people out there. I mean, my one now is not looking very good, is it? I don't think I can get this back together. Did a nice job of dismantling it, but yeah, I could rebuild it if I wanted to, but I still have no outer housing. So 5 rods along the side which go up and down, and when in the right position, I believe they get pushed into that center post. So let's just push this down and see. Yeah, they can be pushed in. Alright, let's put this back in here, see if we can push them in, because I'm pretty sure we can't. So there we go, it's in there. Can we push this down? No. But if this was in the right spot, it would depress. Finding that right spot's going to be hard. There we go, found it. And yes, it does depress now. It gets very depressed once it's in the right spot. Alright, so there's the mystery. There's the mystery solved on how this actually kind of works. I was thinking it was something like a tubular lock when I first saw it and when I saw the keys, but the actual amount of work that's in it really, you know, is nothing like a tubular lock, like compared to, you know, the machining. I mean, that's stainless. This center pin is from another galaxy. Get it? Galaxy? From another galaxy? I mean, look at that. That holds the combination of the key. So you got a special machine to do it. I've seen the machine online, and it's a big kahuna. You'll probably buy a nice little weekend speedboat for the price you'd pay for that. So as a high security product, yeah, it's pretty cool. As an Australian made product, it's even cooler. Have I seen anyone pick it? No. You know, it would be nice if we had more of these and we could send them around the world and see if other people can pick them. There's some pretty special lock pickers out there. I unfortunately am not one of them. That's not what my forte is. But on saying that, I can still appreciate a good lock and for what it is. So just pushing these down, they move the sidebars. We know how to get the sidebars in and out. As to why I couldn't get it dismantled, I'm not sure. It could have been a ball bearing at the back. Like, I would have expected it. Take off the circlip, push it backwards, and you should be good to go. And even when I look at this housing here, I look at where these little, I don't even know the real name, what we call them, levers. I was looking at where these levers were, and if they were in there like that, stopping from rotating, there should be no reason why it can't slide out. So, and there was no hole, no grub screw, no anything. So I'm guessing there might actually be a pull-apart key for this, a key to go in, depress this little pin, which is like a little teardrop pin, depress that little teardrop pin, and then come out. And as to what retains this center, that's another mystery. I can see a slide or a key section up the back here, and that does kind of marry up fairly well with the slide section there. And if we look around here, I can see an indentation here which lines up with here. So if this little pin is what's retaining this center part here, well then I think that could be a little bit vulnerable, to be honest with you. Yeah, it does. This little pin lines up here. So literally if you could grab this and reef it out, then you're exposed with all of these chambers here, which you could go through, and you just simply need to apply some sort of special tension tool to get it rotate. And, well, actually no, that has the coating. So if that's out of the lock, what would happen? Maybe the whole thing would rotate. Maybe that's the answer. Remove that. I mean, we removed it without even trying. Remove that, and then it might rotate. Rotate the whole thing around. Or push these down into the right points. No, you don't need to. Shouldn't need to. Because that goes in there. They're spring loaded, and they're governed by this center section. So if you have no center section, they can be pushed in. And this rotates as a solid core. Just pop that back in there. So, no center section, will it rotate? Yeah, we got a bit of rotating action there. So possibly. Leave it down below in the comments if you've managed to pick it, or you managed to bypass it, you managed to pull this center section out, or if you know how that center section came out when I was just tapping it at the back. All of that, leave it down below. But still, thanks Galaxy for making this lock, and thanks to the job site for allowing us to drill it off, because they had no key and we had no other option and no picks. So yeah, it was interesting to see on how it works. I'll probably put the parts aside. I don't think I'll be building this unless I have some sudden good fortune of finances and I win like the lotto and I can afford one of their very expensive machines and all the rest. It is a product I'd think about using. I'd still have to find out a few more things about it, especially on how strong it is. But yeah, there we go. The Galaxy lock, gutted, nutted, and now retired. Thanks for watching.